This video demonstrates how to remove duplicates from a single column in a table in an Excel workbook using the Python library OpenPyXL. This video is responding to a comment from a viewer who asked how to do this on my inserting and deleting columns and rows videos, which I have linked above and in the description. I decided to make a video about the steps necessary to produce the table you want because I imagined others might have the same question. Now, if you are interested in removing all duplicate rows of the table, I've just released a video on the steps on how to do this, which can be viewed by clicking on the link at the top of the video or in the description below. Here we see our testing document containing two columns of data, food and color. The duplicates we care about in this example are in column A. Both apple and onion are listed twice in this column. We'll be writing some code that will cause all values after the first instance of their occurrence to be removed from the column. Moving to my Jupyter notebook, here I bring in the workbook as WB and select the worksheet as WS. Below, I will be saving the work. I start by collecting all of the values in the first column. First, you can see I instantiate a list to place the column values in. I then use a for loop with the range function to go through each value in the table. Using the max row attribute here ensures that I'm capturing every row in the table, regardless of how large that table is. I add 1 to the max row attribute because the range function does not include the second number of the argument in the loop. So adding 1 to the max row attribute ensures I will include the physical last row in the loop. With this loop, all I am doing is adding the value of the cell to the list. Let me add the variable to the bottom of the cell so that when it's executed, you can see the list we have. Next, I remove all of the duplicates of the list by changing it to a set. A set contains only unique values. I could have used a set to start out with, but I decided to perform the steps in this way to make it explicit that we are working only with unique values. Now I use this for loop to perform the removal of values that are duplicates. Let me walk through it line by line. We start with the same for loop structure as we saw above. I am simply going through each row in the document, stating row as my loop variable. The next line assigns the value of the cell to the this row food variable. Next, I have a conditional statement where I am checking to see if the food in this row is within my unique food set. And actually, I'm just now saying that I can change this evaluation statement to not be the value of the cell, but instead the variable that I just created, as they are identical. Makes it look a little bit cleaner and a little bit more Pythonic. So the condition evaluates if the food is in the set, and if it is, then I want Python to remove this row food from the set. Notice how I am not performing any actions on the worksheet for this row. That is because I want this row to still display the food, as it's the first occurrence of it within the column. If the value contained in this row food variable is not within the set, that means the food has already been found in the column, and that causes us to go to the else statement. So this else statement instructs Excel to place a blank string of text in the cell rather than keep the value of the row in the table. It's effectively a replace function. Executing the cell, let's save the document and open the workbook to see the results. And there you have it. Only the first instance of each food is displayed in the column, and the remaining occurrences are now displaying empty cells. So there are a few steps involved in this, but it is fairly simple. First, collect the unique values of the column of interest. Next, loop through the column contents, keeping the value in the column if it's the first time that value occurs, or removing it from the column if it is a duplicate. Thank you guys for stopping by and checking out this video. I greatly appreciate it. Please let me know in the comments if it was useful and what other videos on OpenPyXL and Python you would like to see in the future. If you liked it, please do give this video a thumbs up. It really does help others find this content. And finally, please don't forget to hit subscribe so that you are alerted when the next video is released.